and the wind blows. You know, when I was a little boy, I grew up around a village. And on the outskirts of this village was a large open field. And at the end of one of the other end of the field, it went up a hill, and at the top of the hill was a grove of trees and some rocks. And we used to, my friends and I, we'd spend, the hot part of the day sometimes sitting under those trees and just looking out at the land below us. And when it was just right, when it was just windy enough, that wind would blow across the field and up the hill, and as it started to move up the hill, it would swirl. And it would pull up the dust from the ground and just swirl around, and we could see these what we call dirt devils moving up the hill. Sometimes it was really, really windy. It'd be a whole army of these dirt devils just moving up the hill. Of course, they get to the top and they disperse. I hadn't thought about that quite a while. Till tonight. See, I went to speak to this teacher, this young man who's been doing and saying some very miraculous things. My brothers on the Sanhedrin are not quite, well, they don't see him in the same light as me. They kind of see him through a veil of fear. But, I see his healings. I hear his words. I can't help but believe that he's a man of God. That's what it comes down to in our faith. Following the rules. Following the law. Those physical things that tell us that God exists and he has set forth his rule. And so when I see this Jesus healed, well, the evidence is there. He has to be from God. So I went to speak to him. I can't speak to him during the day because it might raise too many questions. So I went to him tonight. And I told him exactly that I knew he was from God because of what I had seen and what I had heard. And he said something very strange. He said, to truly see God's kingdom, you must be born from above. Did I understand that right? Was he telling me that I could not know God's kingdom? Because I'm an old man. I cannot be born again. I cannot return to my mother's womb. He said, no. He said, you see things to believe. To know God's kingdom, you must believe, without seeing. You must see with new eyes. You know how the wind blows. And the wind blows. You can't see the wind, but the wind blows out. How can I believe in things that I cannot see? Even with the wind, we hear the rustle in the trees, we see the grass bend, we even see the dust turned up by it. We don't see the wind. Is that what you're saying? That to know God's kingdom, we must see differently. We must see with our heart. We see something that we know is there, though our eyes don't see it. I'm very interested in this young man. I fear for this young man. Like I said before, my brothers on the Sanhedrin they're fearful. You can see the wind that moves by the flickering candle. And his wind is moving very quickly across the land. And as far as the Sanhedrin goes, I don't know what dirt devils his wind may stir up.